I watched the evolution of both these guys. This didn't happen overnight. In 2022, before he owned Twitter, Elon tweeted this chart depicting how he felt about the liberal side having shifted so much that it left a basically liberal centrist like him now labeled a conservative. I related to the kind of mean girl you get from the cool kids in Wokeville when you're perceived that way. They tried real hard to cancel Rogan a few years ago. And when Elon hosted Saturday Night Live in 2021, well before he was a Trumper, some of the cast members gave him the cold shoulder for the sin of being rich.
Bill Maher isn't holding back anymore. Bill Maher just gave one of his most serious talks yet on Real Time. This time, he wasn't joking. He called out the far left for, in his words, losing touch with reality. He's been heading in this direction for a while, but now it feels like he's hit a breaking point. Maher even hinted this might be one of his last big moments on the show. If you've been watching him over the years, this probably doesn't surprise you. His frustration has been growing, and now he's speaking his mind without holding back. Agree with him or not, it's clear. Maher is done playing nice. Point one.
My vote, don't give me the ick. You know what the ick is, right? It's a term mostly used in the dating world to describe that moment when one of the people, usually the man, does something so icky that the woman cannot forgive it or forget it. Like sending a pic or being mean to the waitress, paying for dinner with a coupon, getting his mother to call you when you dump him, asking for in baby voice. Once you give her the ick, it's a wrap.
Pushed Bill Maher too far. So what finally set Bill Maher off? In his eyes, the left has gone so far that it just doesn't make sense anymore. He's been warning Democrats for years, saying they're heading for political trouble, but no one listened. Now he says it's worse. Young people are being taught to hate their own country while praising governments that go against everything America stands for. To Maher, that's not progress, that's a real threat. That was his breaking point. What followed was one of his most honest, emotional, and unfiltered rants, yet, and many would say, it was about time.
People who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
Bill Maher sounded frustrated as he called out Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, saying they've played a big role in turning young Democrats against the country. Instead of promoting pride in being American, Maher says they're chasing popularity online and giving too much attention to extreme voices, he accused Democratic leaders of abandoning traditional American values just to get applause on social media. This wasn't just a rant, it felt like he was done. For Maher, the party has drifted too far, and he's no longer willing to defend it to him. The Democrats have lost their way and he's walking away.
It's become like a royal family that, because of so much, has unfortunately had children who are and the same thing can happen to ideas if they are also conceived in an atmosphere of intellectual test. Maybe take the clothespins off your noses and actually converse with the other half of the country. Stop screaming at people to get with the program and instead make a program worth getting with.
Bill Maher sounds like he's had enough. He's not just calling out the Democrats, he's cutting ties. Maher says the party has lost touch with real people and locked itself in a bubble of suspicious, unrealistic ideas. He points to AOC's so-called economic revolution as an example, calling it old-school socialism with a new coat of paint. To him, it's all flash, no real plan, and yet the party is backing her as a future star, possibly even for 2028. Maher isn't buying it. He sees a party more focused on social media buzz than the lives of working Americans. And for him, that disconnect was the breaking point. He's done.
Early to strategize. Democrats have been having a lot of donor retreats lately where liberal strategists hold ideathons, where they try to figure out why they keep losing elections. You know, apart from using words like ideathon. And now one idea that's getting a lot of attention is the Dems need to find their Joe Rogan, a liberal Joe Rogan, because that's why Kamala lost. Republicans have a podcast.
The 2024 election. Democrats alienated independent voices by sticking to strict narratives and shutting down disagreement. When people like Joe Rogan spoke out, they faced backlash instead of open debate. That pushed many away not because they loved Trump, but because they were fed up. Even Rogan, once a centrist, ended up urging people to vote Republican. That shift didn't happen by accident. It was a reaction. Now, Democrats want those voters back. But it's tough to win support from people you tried to silence.
I don't think his mind is completely inflexible. His neck, yes. But not his mind. And he's expressed unease with some things Trump is doing, as has a certain disgruntled former employee named Elon Musk, who, like Joe, is another guy who 5 years ago was thought of as a liberal, but got driven into the other camp by bad attitudes and bad ideas, a reversal I completely understand, although I would never emulate. I also see the woke mind virus. I just don't jump from frying pans into fire.
More people are moving toward the MAGA movement, and Bill Maher seems to be slowly joining them. He says he's not switching sides, but we've heard that before. Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, J.D. Vance all said the same, then walked away from the Democrats. Maher may not wear a red hat, but his complaints now sound a lot like conservative talking points. He's tired of virtue signaling, censorship, and what he sees as a party that's lost its grip on reality. When your values no longer match your party, leaving becomes inevitable. Today's Democrats say one thing but do another, taking money from billionaires, ignoring voices like Rashida Tlaib, and backing leaders who seem out of touch with everyday TRUGG. Lest so can you blame Maher for looking elsewhere? He says he hasn't left, but listen closely. And it sounds like he already has.
You think people don't remember when you do this to them? That it's not going to have blowback? Now me, again, you don't have to win me back because I never left. But all the guys in America like Joe and Elon, yeah, you do have to win them back. The good news is you can. Elon has gone from saying, I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man.
What more proof do you need that? Bill Maher's on his way out. He's all but said it. If Democrats still want his vote, they'd better stop pushing him away. And this time, he's not joking. He's warning them. You can hear the difference. His usual sarcasm now sounds sharper. The frustration isn't funny anymore. It's worn out and bitter. Maher isn't just annoyed, he's tired. Tired of trying to reason with a party that seems too busy fighting itself to listen. He's stopped pretending the far left isn't in charge. He's stopped asking for change. At this point, Maher isn't giving advice. He's saying goodbye.
A couple of weeks ago, Bobby Kennedy, scion of the most storied dynasty in Democratic Party history, dropped out of the presidential race and threw his support not to the Democrat, but to Trump. And everyone all at once said the same thing. Bobby Kennedy did something weird?
Maher isn't just frustrated, he's slowly walking away from the Democrats, and he's making it clear why. He's warning that if the party pushes figures like Bernie Sanders, AOC, or Gavin Newsom in 2028, it'll be more of the same. Cancel culture, extreme ideas, and a disconnect from real voters. If that happens, they won't just lose Maher, they'll lose independents, middle-class support, and key swing states. The GOP won't need to fight hard. They'll win easily. Maher's not alone. More longtime liberals are fed up with a party that's replaced real values with hashtags. If Democrats don't change course soon, Maher's exit will just be the beginning.